Chris Williamson has this quote where he says, when you're on the way to the top, people cheer you because you remind them of their dreams. But when you make it there, they hate on you because you remind them how they gave up. The word diet, right? I don't like the word diet. First of all, the first three letters is die, right? That's why, the reason that people lack confidence is because you know every lie you've ever told. So the 80 pounds, that I lost in 12 weeks.
12 weeks?
Yeah, I got a lot of clarity. I got a lot of actionable steps, and you helped me build my challenge. This is powerful, bro. I'm very thankful.
All right, we are live. Welcome to the third episode of Beyond Challenges podcast. Just so you guys know, what we do in this podcast is talk about challenges. Right now, we bring three types of guests inside of our challenges inside of our podcast. The first types are those where we are gonna dive in and create strategy sessions. Like we are gonna create a strategy for the challenge, like the first challenge that they're gonna have. The second type of people are those where we bring in people and do audits of their present challenges that they have already done and see what we can improve on to start scaling their challenge to multiple six figures. And finally, we bring in guests who have already done challenges, made it, to get them in and have them share their challenge secrets with us so that we can get more successful with our challenges. Okay, so for today's session, we have Jose Gonzalez. Right, I hope I pronounced his name right. Otherwise, I'm gonna get kicked off right off the bat. But he has been a chef, a professional chef for like 25 years now, and I'm pretty excited because, as you can see and as you can tell, I'm a big foodie myself. So I'm gonna take some tips from him on the keto stuff, and at the same time, we are gonna have an amazing session strategizing his challenge and see how he can scale his business. All right, welcome on board, Jose. It's great to have you here.
Thank you. I'm excited to be here. Thank you so much for having me as a guest.
Absolutely, man. Like we have connected before, and since we have that connection, I really wanted to bring you on so that we can help you like do at least some part of your challenge so that you can go on and start crushing it with your amazing offer that you have already got. So, so tell us, Jose, like a little bit about your background, where you come from, and so on.
Yeah, I appreciate it. So I grew up in New York City, in Washington Heights. My parents came here to America from Dominican Republic, and food has always been a big part of my life. I learned how to cook with my mom, and but like a lot of people, I struggled with health and weight for many years. For over 20 years, I struggled with health and weight. I had a few medical issues as a result of that. And I had tried a lot of different, diets and lifestyles. And finally, I discovered the keto lifestyle. When I adopted a ketogenic lifestyle, I was managed to lose 100 pounds in 5 months. And then I created a business and a brand around it because I know that just like myself, a lot of people, struggle with eating and dieting and a lot of health issues. And so over the last few years, I've been able to help literally hundreds of people, not just lose thousands of pounds, but reverse conditions like diabetes, high blood pressure, arthritis, and other metabolic syndrome. So currently, my wife and I, we coach people on getting healthy, staying healthy, and we do that also based on biblical principles.
What? So, what did you end that with? Biblical principles?
Yes.
Wow. Oh my God. So that's very interesting. I think we are gonna have a really good conversation on that, and I'm pretty sure that you're gonna help us like lose some weight as well, like share some secrets over here.
Sure.
Because you see, like I like personally, I have been like it's been really difficult for me as well for the past like 1 year to stop eating out, right?
Mm,
And I have been eating out like I eventually started as celebrating some of the wins, right, small wins, and then it became a habit, right? And I'm pretty sure that there are a lot of people even watching this podcast would be going through the same problem. And you said that you were doing that with a twist, like you help people reverse their diseases that they have as well,
correct.
just that they get as a result of overeating and all of those bad habits, right?
Yes.
So that's pretty unique. Like, how did you come to find about that though? That you were able to help people reverse diabetes.
Yeah. So So here's the thing. Like I said, I had tried many diets, and I had been, like trying a diet, losing weight, gaining weight, right?
Mhm.
And oftentimes, one of the things that kind of gets us on track, unfortunately, is when you have some type of tragedy in your life, right?
Mm.
So my mom has suffered a stroke of three major strokes about 7 years ago. She's still alive and well, but she's confined to a bed. She's mostly nonverbal. And when that experience happened in my life, it kind of lit this light bulb. And I realized that most of the people in my family suffer strokes, suffer heart attacks, and usually die from that. And so it just got me thinking, like, is this going to be, how my life is going to be as I get older? And that's really what got me focused. And so there's a saying that's like, when the student is ready, the teacher appears, right? And I was following someone who was creating content around intermittent fasting. And so I had started intermittent fasting, and I got some results with that. And then that person started talking about keto. And at first, I really wasn't like too interested. Like, we have an aversion to new information a lot of times. I'm like,
Right.
no, keto, that sounds weird. But I was doing my own research and started following some doctors, and I learned that a lot of the diseases, the metabolic diseases that we suffer from, are a result of overconsumption of carbs. And so I kind of, started doing keto without knowing that I was doing keto. I lost 100 pounds in 5 months, like I said. But, with my mom's situation and some other personal challenges that I was facing, I regained 80 pounds. Okay. And that's when I was like, man, like I need to, the thing is that there's only so far that you can get on your own, no matter what it is that you're doing, right? God made us interdependent. Okay. Like, God made the whole world. He said everything is good, but there was one thing he said it wasn't good. He said it wasn't good for man to be alone. And
Mm.
so that's when I decided, you know what? I know what I did to lose this weight. I'm going to start a business and a brand around this, because by me helping other people and now taking on this public figure of being a keto influencer, a coach, a master chef, it's going to
Mhm.
help me stay healthy and accountable. And so that's what I did. I created a brand and business around this about 5 years ago. But even with that, I still saw challenges. I still, had my, throughout the pandemic, I put on weight. I documented on my social media how I lost it. It's difficult, right? People face challenges. We have stress, as an entrepreneur, it was difficult. And when I started to lean into the word of God and make that part of my brand, that's really when I got the resolve, the spiritual commitment to not only stay dedicated to my own health journey, but also really it anchored me to be able to help a lot more people in a lot more powerful way.
Mm. Wow. I mean, like, that is a really powerful story you have got right there, right? And I mean, as you mentioned, like, it's really like the personal experiences that we get that gives us the epiphany to go ahead and move forward with our calling, right? So it's pretty interesting. Um, you mentioned that you had gained weight once again after losing 100 pounds, right? I guess like you then went ahead and reduced that back.
Yes.
So how was that journey of yours?
So the 80 pounds that I lost in 12 weeks.
12 weeks?
Yeah.
That
But
is
so the first time that I when I lost 100 pounds in 5 months, I wasn't working out. I walk a lot. I love to walk. I live in the Philadelphia area now. At that time, I was in New York City, and so New York City it's made for walking, and so I was walking a lot. I was walking at least 6 or 7 miles a day, like 7, 10 kilometers a day.
oh my god.
Yeah, and I love walking, right? So that was the only exercise that I did, which, by the way, I often tell people say to me, oh, I can't exercise because of this, because of that. And I tell them, walk, right? Like most people, can walk. And
Mhm.
so I wasn't lifting weights. I wasn't doing any type of resistance exercise. When I recommitted to my health and I lost the 80 pounds, at that time I was working out consistently. So I was doing weightlifting, not anything crazy, but I was weightlifting 3 times a week, and then I was doing some type of like hit cardio or walking or hiking as well, 3 times a week. So that's why I was able to get those results so quickly. But you don't, a lot of people may have either physical conditions that don't allow them to work out, at least right now. And so I tell people, the exercise, the reason that exercise helps you to lose weight is not just because of the burning calories thing. That's sort of kind of it, but it's because health is not so much about, like, weight gain is not so much about calories. It's more about hormone optimization. So, by reducing carbs, for example, one of the things that carbs does is that it spikes insulin, right? Insulin is a fat storage hormone. Okay. And then the other hormone that wreaks havoc on people's health and causes weight gain is cortisol, which is the stress hormone. So sometimes you have people who are eating healthy or healthy-ish, but they're highly stressed, right? Maybe they have a very challenging work-life balance, or lack thereof. They're not sleeping properly. They're not resting properly. They're overcome with, financial problems or family issues. And all of that stress produces high levels of cortisol. So the way that exercise helps in being healthy and losing weight is not just the burning calories and building muscle. That's a part of it. But exercise helps to reduce stress, right? Because it's a healthy stress, right? And most people don't want to work out. But once you work out, like, you feel better, it improves your confidence, and then other stresses don't pale in comparison, right? Because you're like, oh, I already got up in the morning and I did this. That was difficult. So it makes it easier to handle other difficult things because life is going to be challenges.
I absolutely relate with your words because I was sleeping in until like 8 a.m. for a very long time. Before I built out a habit of going out in the morning and doing some kind of walk, at least any kind of physical activity. But then something happened again, just as you mentioned, like the stress stuff and like the personal things that came up, because of which I was like, I don't want to go out, I don't want to exercise or anything of that sort. But finally, recently I started playing badminton in the morning.
Nice.
and and bro, I'm telling you, I love badminton. So when I got up in the morning, I get up at like 5:45 a.m. right now, and when I go out play and I come back by 7, I'm like, I have already accomplished a lot of things, right? And then that helps me have more energy throughout the day. So I mean,
Absolutely.
whatever you're saying, I'm absolutely relating to it.
Absolutely. And one quick tip that I'll add to that, like I talked about walking, I was walking, 7, 10 kilometers a day. I like walking, right? So if
Mhm.
somebody doesn't like walking, I'm not going to say, hey, go and walk because if you don't enjoy it, there's a saying that says, the man who loves walking will go farther than the person who loves the destination, right? And basically, what that means is that if you're trying to go somewhere, but the process, you don't enjoy the process, you're going to give up, right? But
Right.
if you enjoy the process, right? So for you, if it's playing every morning, like, no one has to force you to do that, right? Because you're excited for it, right? And so you probably want to play more, and people are like, no, I gotta go. I'm tired. And you're like, no, let's play one more game, right? Especially if you're winning. Let's play one more game. So if people can find something that they enjoy, that could be walking, that could be playing a game, that could be, anything that gets the body moving. That's the easiest way to incorporate physical activity into your lifestyle.
Right, right, absolutely. I mean, it's just like whatever it is, even if it's not just about the fitness, even if we are in the business and we are not loving what we are actually selling, then none of it is going to make sense for you. You're going to give up after some time. Just like I've changed like 8 different niches to come finally to challenges. I'm sure you would have as well
Yeah.
to find your calling, right? But yeah, I mean, that absolutely makes sense. So Jose, like, tell me about your business a little bit more. Like, what do you sell as an offer at the moment, and how many students you have in it, and so on, like your target audience basically.
Absolutely. So I have a hybrid of both physical products and as well as virtual digital products.
Uh-huh.
So as you know, as a chef locally, I do catering. I also teach master classes that I do both virtually and in person, where I go to people's homes and I teach them how to cook their favorite foods in a healthy way. And then as a digital, coach, I coach people online. And I have two different groups, one for men, one for women, because, men and women have different issues and struggles and concerns and pain points. So I coach both men and women. I give them the how-to of how to eat, right? And it's really more about principles, and it's always centered around the things that people like to eat, right? Because if you're not going to enjoy it, you see, let me just backtrack real quick and say this, right? The word diet, right? I don't like the word diet. First of all, the first three letters is die, right? That's why a lot of times when people are on a diet, they literally feel like they're gonna die. But when we
Yeah,
think about dieting is pretty much however you eat. So some people have a healthy diet, some people have an unhealthy diet. We're all on a diet. But usually when people say, hey, I'm on a diet or I'm doing this new diet, what they're really saying is I'm doing something that's short term and I'm depriving myself. I'm starving myself, right? And I'm willing to do that because it's short term. Well, that's not practical. That's not sustainable. Okay. If you do something for a short term and you get a result, but you stop doing it, you're going to go back to how things were. So
mhm.
for me, it's important to teach people to create a lifestyle. So a lot of people talk about keto diet, but I talk about a ketogenic lifestyle. And I help people create a plan that's customized to them around what they like to eat, what type of career they have, what type of physical activity is actually practical and sustainable for their lifestyle so that they can continue to do this, right? So that they're not suffering, they're not deprived, and they're not like torturing themselves and just, wanting to go back to what they were doing before. So I help them create both a meal plan that works for them, physical activity that works for them at whatever stage they're at, and in addition to that, we have a weekly group coaching session where I teach, health like I said, from a biblical perspective. So we teach a lot from the Bible, what the Word of God teaches about, mindset, as well as our health and how to stay and remain healthy.
Mm-hmm. So you already have this program, right?
Yes.
What is the name of this program?
So it doesn't. I've been playing with the name. Like normally, it's just called our health transformation challenge. It's a 12-week health transformation challenge because I just wanted to name it something that lets you know what it is that you're getting, right? And that's pretty much what it is. It's about transforming your health in 12 weeks. And for some people, like I have clients who in the 12-week program lose 25 pounds. I have clients who lose over 50 pounds. It depends on where they start. There's a girl in my program. She's been in 8 weeks now. She's already lost 40 pounds. I have some that within just a few weeks, they lose 16 to 20 pounds. And trust me, the reason that it's a transformation is because not only are you changing physically, but it changes who you are on the inside. It changes your mind. It changes the way you think. It changes the way you interact with people. It changes the way that you show up for relationships, right? For your spouse, for your family, in the marketplace as a business person. It completely transforms who you are, and people just start looking at you like, man, you're different, So you improve your health, which is important, but you really change for the better, and transform who you are. So it's a health transformation challenge. Like I said, I have a group that's for men and a group that's for women because they both have different pain points and struggles. Um, and it runs for 12 weeks, and then from then people are able to continue on but generally within a 12-week period, people can make dramatic changes.
Mm, okay, I mean, like those are some really great results that you have got out there. Like losing 40 pounds in like 8 weeks. How much is that in kilograms?
I would have to get
That
so
that.
I know that 250 grams is a pound, right?
Uh-huh.
So a kilogram is 4 pounds, or is it what? Two? No, no,
Yeah, I just checked. I just googled it. It's like 18 kilograms in 8 weeks. Are you kidding me? Where can I sign up?
no. Yeah, man.
That's really that's really great results. Like, how many people do you have in there in your program at
So
the moment?
currently, because it's revolving, we have people that come join the program. Some stay on. In the women's group right now, we have about 7. In the men's group, we have 3.
Okay.
And it's slowly growing, and so I actually had taken a pause from running my keto business last year for personal and professional reasons. I had taken a pause, and I just got back to focusing and making it my priority, very recently, like in the last 3 months. So in the last 3 months, that's the growth that we have so far. And that's why I was excited to connect with you. I want to build a challenge around what it is that I'm doing, be able to bless more people, help more people, because it's like, a lot of us want to lose weight, and that's cool, right? But weight loss is a byproduct of being healthy, right? Not everyone who's skinny is healthy. Okay, there's this medical term called
Right.
skinny fat, right? Like you see some people that no matter what they eat, they don't gain weight, and you think like, oh, they can eat whatever. It's not really true, right? They can still you can still be skinny and be diabetic, have high blood pressure, have kidney disease, have arthritis, have all these different medical conditions, right? Um,
Really?
Absolutely, absolutely. But, you know, usually being skinny, it's a byproduct of being healthy. And so, even though people want to lose weight and, we want to look good when we go on vacation, a holiday or whatever, that's nice. But being healthy is just, it has so many more benefits than you can even sum up in words, right? Because as a business person, whether you're an employee or you're a business owner, you show up. You
Uh-huh.
show up and perform at a much higher level. Like I'm sure when you go out and you play in the morning and you come back, like you just have so much energy. Your mind is flowing. You get so much more done. In your relationships, right? As a parent, as a spouse, there's just so many benefits that it has. And I work with a lot of parents, right? And there's something in the Bible that says, more is caught than is taught, right? And what that means is that one time I was talking to this couple, and they called me because their daughter, who was a teenager, she was feeling self-conscious. She's a little bit overweight. Most of her friends were not overweight. And they were like, yeah, our daughter was the one that said to us about the keto stuff. And we see that you do keto, and can you give us some pointers? So I sat with them and I talked, and I'm like, all right, you got to do this. 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 And I said, at the end, I said to them, I said, but if you want your daughter to do keto, you're going to have to do keto. Right? You can't be drinking soda and and then telling her, "Oh, honey, you need to drink water," right?
Uh-huh.
And so when we as parents are healthy, we can impart that on our children. Okay, and it just makes you a better leader, whether that's in your church, in your family, in the business world. It makes you show up in a completely different way.
Right. No, absolutely. I mean, like practicing what we preach is far more better than just saying others what to do, right? So I mean, okay, once we understood your offer, right, who is your target audience? Like, who are the specific group of people that you're trying to attract with your offer?
Yeah, so the market and avatar is tricky, right? Now, while I could help anyone, usually the people who I target and I help the most are women. right? Mostly the guys that work with me are because they see my content, they see my before and after picture, and like that attracts them to me. But in terms of the marketplace, in terms of who my marketing avatar is and who I kind of target in my messaging is mostly women. So mostly I work with women from average age, 30 to 50 years old, which is kind of a big spectrum. But and I work with moms, I work with entrepreneurs. We live in a virtual world, right, where people are like constantly on the go. I happen to work with a lot of realtors, and also people in the church community, right? Like you don't have to be a Christian. You don't have to be a Christian to be part of my community, but I do teach from the Bible. So at the very least, you can't be offended, because that's what I'm going to teach.
So, mostly people who are looking to achieve something in their lives, like especially women, and they do have a family, right?
Yes,
So you have already been serving them for a while now, as you mentioned.
correct.
Okay. So what specific problem of them you're trying to solve with your offer?
Three of the biggest problems that I see, the biggest problem that I see that is like a unspoken problem. It's the main problem that they have, but it's the one that they are least vocal about, or the one that they want to identify the least, and that's a lack of confidence. Okay, like when women are really honest with me, they say to me, "I just want to look good in a bathing suit, right? I just want to feel good when I take off my clothes, right?" And the men and women both have this struggle, but we're talking about my avatar here, which is women. So the biggest challenge that women have is that they dress up, they put on makeup, like sometimes we lie to ourselves, right? We lie to ourselves, and it kills our confidence, because we know, man, like I could do more, but I'm not, right? And so one of the main things that I help with is confidence, because once you start to see those pounds come off, the inflammation being lost in your face, and you start to get some momentum, and you see like, oh, this pair of jeans that I haven't fit into and God knows how long. A lot of the women I work with are mothers, right? And so one of the biggest things that they are excited about is when they say, I haven't been able to wear this since before I was pregnant.
Oh,
Right? I have a lady that I'm working with right now who she just turned 40, and she has a 23-year-old son. So she was a teen mom, right? And that's the biggest thing for her. Like she's wearing clothes right now that she hasn't worn since she was 16 years old, right?
that is
So
huge.
yeah,
Yeah.
so the biggest challenge that my clients face is a lack of confidence in themselves, right? An unspoken lack of confidence in themselves, which then causes shame, it causes stress, right? And as a result of that shame and that stress, they try to comfort themselves with food. So it's like this
Uh-huh.
rabbit hole. It's
Yes.
like this hamster wheel where it's kind of like food is my problem, but because I'm stressed about how I feel about myself, I'm going to comfort myself with food, and it just exasperates the problem. Um, the other part of it, a lot of the ladies that I work with have a very specific reason why they want to get healthy, right? It could be because they're going to their high school reunion, right? It could be I had somebody that I work with who got dramatic results because she was going to a wedding. Okay. And she's getting married next year, but she was going to a wedding this year. And she's like, I want to show up like the way I'm going to look on my wedding. Right. And so again, like it sounds like, vain, but it's really not. Right. Like it's really based on, again, that internal subconscious confidence where you know that you're not showing up as your best self. Right.
Mhm.
So I would say that that's the biggest way that I help my clients, right? By teaching them how to get healthy. And then the community that we have, it's a supportive community, right? Like we have the weekly coaching. We have a group chat where everyone, like, they share their steps every day. They share their meals. They support each other. So that community really creates the safe space for them to know that I'm not alone in this, right? Like, somebody
Right.
else is going through this. I have people that are supporting me, cheering me on. Some days I'm gonna be high, some days I'm gonna be low, but I'm never alone. And you just start to see the confidence, the glow, like it happens quickly.
Right, right. I mean, like, community is really one of the biggest factors. Somebody, even if they are not taking action themselves, they can see somebody else taking action and they would feel like I'm missing out on something. And I could even get this kind of transformation, right? So, I mean, you said that one of the biggest thing is confidence, right? Do you feel like your audience knows that they have a confidence problems?
They do, but sometimes they're not willing to admit it publicly, right?
Of
And the
course.
thing about it is that when you're not willing to admit something publicly, the only way that you're able to do that is to not admit it to yourself, right? So it's almost like, Myron says, the reason that people lack confidence is because you know every lie you ever told, you know?
Absolutely.
And
Absolutely.
a lot of times the Bible talks about two kinds of shame. The Bible talks about the shame from the father, which is, um, it's kind of like when you disappoint your parents, but they don't stop loving you, right? They're just disappointed, right? They're just disappointed because you messed up, but they still love you, right? But then they talk about the shame from the enemy, right? The shame from the devil, which is wanting
Uh-huh.
you to feel bad, wanting you to, like, oh, you messed up, you're unworthy, you're not worthy of love. And this is, again, a big reason why I teach health from a biblical standpoint, because if we're not walking with the word of God, if we're not living in the spirit, it's easy to then conform to the world. It's easy then to succumb, to the lies of the enemy, of feeling unworthiness, right? Of feeling like, hey, you messed up, of that shame.
Uh-huh.
And so they are usually aware of it, but it's an internal problem. And so a lot of times, the challenge is, how they say, for you to fix something, first you have to admit that you have a problem, right?
Right, right.
If
Absolutely.
you have a problem with alcohol, with drugs, whatever it is, right? But
Uh-huh.
if you have a problem with alcohol, then you know that maybe the fix is giving up alcohol, right? If you have a problem with drugs, then you know, like, all right, at first I admit it, and then I have to stop using drugs. Well, no one can stop eating, right?
Yeah, right.
No one can
Absolutely.
stop eating. So even if you acknowledge that you have a problem with eating, you may not always know how to fix it, right? You and so first people have to admit that they have a problem, and then be open to the solution.
Right, right. So, I mean, it's like they would resonate with the word confidence, though, right? Even if they wouldn't admit it publicly. However, okay, let's talk about the vehicle, your vehicle, right? What is your way of having people lose weight? Is it just focusing on creating that keto lifestyle that you mentioned already, or like what is the process?
Yeah, so the process is, first I empower them with the basic how-tos, right? The information, which is, this is what to eat, this is what not to eat. And then again, we make a customized plan based on their lifestyle, right? Because some people don't like eggs, some people don't do well with dairy. And so first we get to the how-to. And then but oftentimes people don't fail to get healthy because of lack of information, right? So the information is a big component, but it's not the component. All right. the main component that my program offers people is, number one, the accountability. Because for some reason, as humans, we tend to be a lot more accountable to someone else than we are to ourselves, right?
Mhm.
Which is why when you have an accountability partner or a workout buddy, right, it makes you have higher success, right? Because if you had to do it for yourself, there's a good chance that you're not going to do it. There's a lady in my program who joined, and she said to me, she's a mom, and she said to me before she joined the program, she goes, yeah, I've been thinking about it, but I'm not sure, I'm not sure because I've tried different diets, but I never stick to it. And I asked her, I said, why have you tried dieting? Oh, because I want to lose weight. I said, that's the reason you can't lose weight. She's like, what do you mean? I said, you have a daughter, right? She's like, yeah. I'm like, every time that you try to lose weight for yourself, you'll get frustrated, you'll give up. So instead, if you lose weight so you can, for your daughter, because you want to be healthy, because you want to be alive, because you want to be the best, most energetic, most amazing mom ever, and you want to set the example for her, is going to completely
Very
change. Is going to completely change. So sometimes the accountability partner may not be right, but you have to have an external stimulus. So as a coach, the community, we provide that external accountability and the structure and the community for you to tap into. And unfortunately, oftentimes people don't have support, right? People don't have support from the people closest to them, right? So sometimes you have husbands that don't support you, or wives that don't support you, or your friends, right? Because if you're currently unhealthy, that tells me that the people closest to you are probably also unhealthy. Probably, not
Mhm.
always, but probably.
Mhm.
So as soon as you tell your friend, your best friend who you talk to every day, hey, I'm going to start doing this, stop doing that. Now what happens is they're not going to support you. And the reason that they're not going to support you is because you're shining the light
Mhm.
on
Yeah.
what they're not doing, right? Like Chris Williamson has this quote where he says, when you're on the way to the top, people cheer you because you remind them of their dreams. But when you make it there, they hate on you because you remind them how they gave up, right?
Wow, I love that quote. Okay, say that once again. I'm
Yeah,
gonna write.
when you're pursuing your dream, people cheer for you because you remind them, of when they was dreaming. But when you make it, they hate on you because you remind them how they gave up. And so
Mm.
that's oftentimes what happens. People realize, oh man, you're about to change, right? It's not just you that's going to change. Our relationship, our dynamic is going to change. My comfort is going to change.
Mhm.
Another thing is one of my favorite, and I'll reference this very quickly. One of my favorite stories from the Bible is, the story of David, King David. When the prophet, Samuel went to his house, right? He went and he tells his father, "Oh, I'm here to anoint one of your sons as the next king of Israel." And his father Jesse was like, "Oh yeah, great." He brought seven of his sons, who were all soldiers, big, strong men. And each one, the prophet was like, "Oh, God has not chosen this one. God has not chosen this. God has not chosen this." Meaning that his own father didn't see it in him, right? David was the only person that was not invited to his coronation, and the prophet is like, surely you must have another son because God sent me here, right? So he's like, David, you know? And so that's often what happens with us, right? We have this desire, this vision, this purpose that we want to fulfill, that we want to pursue. And because those people around us don't see it, right? Because God didn't give them the vision, He didn't give them the purpose. They're they're just like, like you're gonna do what? No. So the vehicle, to answer your question, the vehicle is a community. The vehicle is the accountability. It's a community where it's like, hey, we believe in you, and not only that, we're gonna be here to support you and help you get there.
Yeah, I mean, like, community is a part of the journey, right? Obviously, they need to have each other, hold each other accountable. But like, what is the method that gets them to lose weight and gain confidence back? Um, which is what they have to do in order to make it possible. So, just as you mentioned that you help them first realize and understand that there is um, more to gaining confidence and losing weight, right? And you show them how the how part, like how is it exactly that you're going to take them there, and then you help them there to like finalize a diet plan or customize a diet for them, so that they do not have to sacrifice their favorite food in order to like live the lifestyle that they want to live, right?
Yeah,
Then after that you give them you help them find out that customized routines, right, workout routine, and that is very fit to their lifestyles, correct?
correct.
And based on like their physical abilities as well. So what comes after that? So they just have to go ahead and execute it, or there's more to it?
No, yeah, that's pretty much it. And so to give you a sample of what the meal plan looks like, right?
I
Uh,
mean,
Go ahead.
yeah, I mean, the meal plan is comes as the second step.
Yes.
After that, you give them like a workout routine, you give them a workout plan that they need to go ahead and execute it. But after this, like, what is it exactly that they need to do to get results? So do they just have to go ahead and execute on it? Do they have to do something else that you want them to do before they can start getting results? Or
Yeah, no, I understand what you're saying now. Yeah, so I mean the from there it's about being active in the community, right? Because whenever you're not showing up, it means that you're not with the program, right? So we have like a group chat where we all, encourage each other, everyone shares their steps every day, how many steps they got. And it's not about, oh, I did 20,000, I did 3,000. It's about engagement. It's about staying connected and being accountable to each other. So we share our steps, we share pictures of our meals. If someone is having a struggle that day, maybe they need prayer. The main thing from there, from once you have the how to, is literally staying connected to the community, because once you're going back to that, the people that you're around are the people that you become like. One thing that's interesting, like we're from different parts of the world, right? And when you speak to someone from a different part of the world, you can tell that they have a different accent than you. Okay?
Mhm.
Now, here's the thing about accents. No one goes to school to learn an accent, right? How do you
Mhm.
get an accent? Like I'm from New York and I live in Philadelphia now. So sometimes that's what people say to me, oh, where you from? Oh, New York. Oh, I can tell. What do you mean you can tell? Oh, I can hear your accent. What accent? Right? So but everyone different parts, like French people, people from India, people from China, people from Spain, right? We all have a different accent, right? If we're speaking the same language, we all have a different accent. And the reason is that you get your accent just from the people that you're around. But here's the thing, you don't even realize that you have an accent, right? Until you speak, until you are, and then someone else points it out to you, right? They can see a difference in you that you can't even see in yourself. They can see characteristics in you that you can't even identify in yourself. So the the community is the most important part, because by you being connected, you're going to become like the people here. You're going to become someone who's active, and like when I say workout plan or be active, for some people that's not working out at all. For some people that's like, hey, you're going into this building, you're going to the second floor, take the stairs, don't take the elevator. Oh, you're going to go grocery shopping, park as far as possible and walk. And then when you come out the supermarket, instead of pushing the cart, carry your groceries to the car, right? It's more about like, how can I incorporate physical activity? So it may not be going to the gym, and it may not be doing yoga. It may not mean going on a hike or walking 10 kilometers. Okay. It's just, how can I move my body more, right? But the most important part of everything is the community, because once you're tapped in to the community, you're gonna become like those that are in the community, whether you realize it or not.
Mm-hmm. Bro, I'm getting like that. That's a very unique way of looking at things, and I think like I have recently connected with a fitness coach as well, who is doing a challenge or a boot camp on fitness, right? And he looks at it at a different perspective. But when I hear you talk about it, I feel like it's more about creating that lifestyle around your life, so that you do not have to work out the way like people do by just going to the gym, and then they find out a reason why they do not have to do it or they do not want to do it, and so on and so forth, right? So I mean, that absolutely makes sense. And I think we have a lot of things right now to just go ahead and structure your um,
Love it,
challenge. I mean,
love it. I'm ready to take notes.
all right, awesome. So let's start with strategizing your challenge.
Let's do
Okay.
it.
All right. So the first part of strategizing a challenge is the big idea of the challenge itself, right? So by big idea, I mean like what will be the challenge about. So sometimes we figure out that if we are into fitness, then the challenge is going to be about fitness, right? It doesn't necessarily have to be about that. It has to be about an idea, a specific problem that you are trying to solve for your audience. Now there are 5 ways to look at the big idea. Okay. Um, the first way is, what is the biggest desire that your audience might want? The biggest desire. What do you think is the biggest desire for your audience?
I think the biggest desire for my audience is to feel more comfortable in their skin. That could be being sexier, that could be being fitter, thinner, but to feel one thing that a lot of my clients say to me is that I want my outside to match my inside, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so I
Mm-hmm.
feel as though the biggest desire that they have is to walk around in a body that represents who they believe that they are. I don't know if
Mm-hmm.
that's too vague of wording,
I
but
mean, think about like one thing that
I would
your
say
audience,
they desire more self confidence, right? Or
right?
to improve their self image.
Self-image, right? I mean, I was also leaning towards that, and I think it's very important for them to feel more confident about themselves by looking good, actually, right? So that's one. The second thing is, um, give them like solve their biggest problem that they have. So from where I'm seeing it, the biggest problem, I do not want to put words in your mouth, but I felt like it was confidence. But you say, what was the biggest problem? What is the biggest problem that you have, that your audience has at the moment?
Confidence is definitely a problem. Another thing, something else I would add in there that perhaps I didn't allude to that I think is another one of the biggest problem, a big problem that they have is either uh, lack of structure or lack of support, right? Um, so lack of support is something that I see that's a big challenge oftentimes because if I have somebody that just joined my program, but before she joined my program, she she was like, "Oh, I can't really afford your program right now." I said, "No problem, just follow our content and do everything that we say." And so she lost a bunch of weight on her own, but then she was like, "Yeah, you know what? A few months later, like I'm interested in learning your program because I feel like I've gotten as far as I can by myself."
Mm.
you know so these are all big problems. I
I mean,
think
like you said that it was support, right? But do they already recognize support being the biggest problem?
probably not. Yeah, I would say that the one that they would recognize is, yeah, it's the confidence.
Is the confidence. So I mean, the problem is that they are not feeling confident with their own bodies at the moment, and they're I mean, like, they do not have proper information or proper knowledge on how they can actually get through that. I mean, do they realize, again, going back to that question that I asked you earlier, do they recognize that they have a confidence problem in the first place as well?
I mean, I believe that they do. You know, like internally they realize it,
Yeah.
right? Like internally
Okay.
they realize it. Like if you used to ask them, do you struggle with confidence? They say no. But you know, it's like when you're by yourself, that's when the real self comes out, right? So sometimes people don't want to acknowledge their problem because it makes them feel and connect with the pain, right? But I think that when
Mhm.
people are alone in their thoughts,
Uh-huh.
they do recognize that they lack confidence.
Right. Okay. So lacking confidence could be like the biggest problem, right?
Yes,
Okay. The third the third way is like the new approach, right? The big idea could be a new approach that you have for your audience of losing weight or gaining confidence. So your new way, is through creating a keto lifestyle. Is that right?
it's the keto lifestyle is yes, and also leveraging biblical principles. So I don't know how in how to combine that in a way, but because of the way my program is designed, like I said, it's based on biblical principles, right?
Mhm.
So, the keto is the how to, right? And the information of the how to, like people can get almost anywhere, right? But where it really starts to connect, because if someone is either offended by the Bible or not a believer, I probably can't help them. That's just the truth, because they're not going to be open to my message, right? Whereas there's a lot of keto influencers, so that would generally be the vehicle for them. But for me, the big idea is for me the big idea is biblical principles to create a keto lifestyle.
Um, I mean, definitely there is a better way of structuring it. I mean, or naming it probably. Could be like keto from the Bible or anything of that sort, right? However, the new approach that you have brought in is like teaching keto lifestyle through biblical perspective. Is that
Yes,
it?
yes, yeah. That's correct.
Okay. And then I don't think there should. Okay, yeah, this one could help you. The fourth way of finding the big idea is the special timing. Just as you mentioned that your target audience, the ones who have gotten results fast, was because they had something coming up, right? So there was this one challenge that we strategized for, a fitness coach, was like where we helped them strategize a challenge for only entrepreneurs who were looking to get fit because they had to speak on stage, right? They had a gig coming up. So it's very targeted, and it will only target those people who are entrepreneurs who already first have the money, and second, they are looking to lose weight fast, so they are going to take more action faster. So that would end up creating more results faster, right? So I mean, this big idea is called special timing. Do you feel like there is, if you targeted a small group of people, a group of people for a special timing, right? So for example, New Year's coming up, Christmas is coming up, and they would want to lose weight fast so that they can prepare for Christmas or New Year, right? Would creating that, something of that sort, would be beneficial for your uh, offer or for your business?
Yeah, yeah, absolutely, absolutely. I usually when I usually when I, like try to promote, market my coaching program, I almost always try to at least usually if nothing else in the conversation, like once I actually have a strategy call with someone and see if they're a right fit for my program, because not everyone is a right fit for the program, and I let people know, like, hey, if you're not committed, I can't help you, right? So first I need to like have a conversation with them and see where their commitment level is. But then I also kind of incorporate like the challenge that I have right now. uh it kicked off around Labor Day, you know? And so it was kind of the special time and new idea was like, hey, you join this program now, you're going to be wearing probably your dream dress for to the holiday party this year, you know?
Mm-hmm.
I always usually do a big push around New Year's, obviously, because in the new year, people always have that quote unquote resolution, right? That 2 week to do list of getting healthy.
Uh-huh.
But even now, which is why I was excited to speak to you, even now, I'm in the process of both thinking about and also implementing something that I can launch right now for the Black Friday time. I wanna onboard a group that signs up now during the holiday season. So like I said, part of why I'm so excited to talk to you because I'm trying to create a challenge that's like now. One reason is that research shows that usually people that hop on that start a workout regimen, a health regimen during the holidays, tend to have more success, right? Than people that even do it in the New Year's, because the New Year's is like to be expected. It's like, okay, New Year. I just spent the last, but if you just spent the last 6 weeks pigging out, right, or like eating whatever, or like enjoying all of your favorite things, and it's hard to go from that to saying like, okay, now I'm going, because you don't have the habits, right?
Mm-hmm.
You don't have the
Mm-hmm.
habits. So if one thing that I teach people is like, if you can create the habits now during the holidays, oh, New Year's is going to be easy.
Absolutely. I mean, so it's like you're trying to prepare for New Year, but um, it's for your clients. You want to prepare them for the New Year so that you can get them early, build the habits before New Year shows up, and you can get them results faster after that.
Yes.
Uh-huh. Okay, yeah, absolutely. I mean, Black Friday is one of the best days for you to advertise because I think a lot of people do not buy the whole year, but they buy into a program in Black Friday just because it's on sale, right? So yeah, I mean, this would be a good opportunity, a special timing. And finally, the last one is the sexy step. Do you feel like there's a sexy step inside of your offer or inside of your process, like the 5 step process that you showed me, right? Is there a one step that your audience really loves and they would want to like join a challenge on one of those steps?
Can you
I
give me an
mean,
example?
so, for example, let's say I am a high ticket sales coach, right? So I help people close high ticket deals on calls, and one of the there are a lot of steps of closing deals on calls, and one of them is handling objections. So I can create a challenge around just handling objections, and we would get people to join that, and they would love to handle objections in those 5 days. Towards the end, I give them a pitch or to join my high ticket sales program.
Got it. That this is one of the best questions I've ever been asked. Because it has me like realizing there's something that I haven't thought about, which I probably need to be thinking about,
Uh-huh.
um I'm gonna answer the question and you let me know if it answers the question or not. But one thing that I've done before when I've done quote unquote challenges, which not like well, not like 5 day challenges, like the whole program was quote unquote
Hmm.
a challenge, right? Was to tell people that, by the end of this challenge, that was when I was doing a 4 week challenge. I would tell people, no, by the end of this challenge, you're gonna know everything that you need to know to stay and be healthy forever
Hmm.
on your own without having to buy any products, potions, lotions, courses, anything else. I don't know if that qualifies as something like that.
I mean, you do not want to give people an idea that they do not have to buy anything in the future. I mean, you may have something else that could benefit them afterwards,
Correct.
once they join in, right? So it's about just like the steps that you have already got, right? I mean, even if I think
Or let's say
that part,
if I gave them the whole meal plan structure, for example, is that an example? If I say, hey, during this challenge, you're gonna know exactly how to eat.
um, not necessarily. I mean, if they feel like that is something that they would be interested in, so the sexy step is not according to you, it's according to the audience. If they feel like this is something that I would crave for, obviously I'm going to go ahead and join this, because I think new year is coming up and I really need to prepare on it. I mean, one factor could be losing weight, right? And then you show them the how to, during the whole process. So losing weight can be your um, step, right? The sexy step, the main step, that you would want people to do, and you're going to show them how to do it. But again, you're going to show it from the like you're going to show them how keto lifestyle through biblical perspective is going to take them to the next level. But the step is like losing weight or anything of that sort. So basically they would have to be willing, they would be very much interested in joining such kind of challenge. I mean, are people interested in joining a challenge on keto? I mean, right now there are a lot of other challenges that people are already doing on keto, right? Even if it's for biblical perspective, I think there would be a lot of I mean, people might be interested in knowing more, but they wouldn't be interested in joining your program afterwards. So just finding what is the one thing that they love and they would love to do if they come in with if they found something like that.
So something like, let's say, losing 20 pounds between now and New Year's. Is that an example of a sexy step?
Yeah, I mean, like losing weight could be good. Yeah, I mean, I think that is something that people would really want to do. I think between now and New Year, and then you build them the habits during that as well, so that they can go ahead and start losing more weight. So we have 5 things so far. Okay, I'm gonna walk you through. The first thing is like the biggest problem, which is lacking confidence. Solving the biggest desire, which is feel more confident by looking good.
Correct.
The third one is keto from learning keto from biblical perspective.
Correct.
The good timing, the special timing is Black Friday and New Year, between Black Friday and New Year. And finally, the step is losing 20 pounds in between New Year and this particular time. So which one of these 5 do you think somebody would be interested to join? So all of these could be challenges, just so you know. Like you
Okay.
have already 5 challenge ideas, but which one of these do you feel like people would join?
Um, I think the special timing and then the sexy step, I think, would be the most powerful.
Hmm. So losing 20 pounds.
15 to 20 pounds between, yeah, by New Year's.
Hmm. Okay. And do you don't feel like confidence, feel confident by looking good would be something that people would want to get in?
Well,
They would.
I think that absolutely, yeah. I'm just saying that, from my own thoughts, just because, we're in early November, but the self-confidence, by looking good, I think overall is the big draw.
Hmm. So for that special timing, we can definitely, when we do the challenge and we execute it, you can definitely market it as a Black Friday experience of 5 days where you go ahead, where you give them the big promise, which is you're gonna feel more confident about yourself, and by actually losing weight. between the time of Black Friday and New Year, right? I mean, we can combine this as well and create a challenge around it. So um, I think feel more confident by looking good and losing 20 pounds, 20 pounds, 15 to 20 pounds in the next 8 weeks, or in the next 6 weeks, to prepare for New Year.
Yeah, I like that.
hmm So we have the big idea, right? The big idea is to help them feel more confident with um, by actually losing weight between now and New Year. What do you think about that?
Yep, yep. I
hmm
think it's strong.
it's a combination of three things over here, but I think I mean, even if it's a combination, do you feel like the messaging is clear, or do you think we could refine it further?
I think it could be refined further,
hmm
like in, maybe in the actual copy, but in terms of like the ideas, I think the ideas themselves, the big ideas themselves, are strong.
hmm Okay, okay, perfect. So now let's, if the big idea is complete, let's talk about what to say on each day of the
Okay.
challenge, because I kind of figured it out already.
All right. I love it.
I mean, it only makes sense when we discuss the process, right? On how you structured everything. Okay, the first day is always about the attractive character, right? And introducing the vehicle. Now, the attractive character basically means the person who has already done it, been there, done that, right? So it's you. On first day itself, what you're gonna do is you're gonna come up and share the story that you shared with me at the beginning of this episode. Like the way that you did it, it was perfect. That is called the origin story. You cover the origin story, and then towards the end, you say, "I did all of this by creating a keto lifestyle, or the vehicle that you present to them, right?" So the keto lifestyle, you just say that, and you say that tomorrow we are gonna come up and discuss about what the keto lifestyle is about, and we are going to show you how exactly it works, right? The first day could be like how creating a lifestyle will will help you lose weight faster, or we could name it differently. We could say like something like
How about something like the ultimate weight loss lifestyle? I don't know.
ultimate weight loss lifestyle. Yeah, I mean, that makes sense. It's just like
Or creating how to create a weight a healthy lifestyle.
healthy. It's good, but
Healthy
it's like
food. Yeah.
we have to use something that creates curiosity for people to just come in. Okay, just so we know, like we have crossed 1 hour. Do you still have time, or do you have to
Yeah,
be
I'm good.
somewhere?
I'm good. I'm good. I got 10 more minutes at least.
Okay, okay, perfect. So we are almost there already, right?
All right.
So um, so yeah, the first one is where we're gonna cover like what is it exactly, the keto lifestyle. Like we are just gonna make an introduction of it. So the first it could be the foundations of gaining confidence, or something. We are going to name that, and then we are going to introduce our origin story, and then say that the keto lifestyle is the thing, right? So that one thing could be the first day could be the foundations of um, the foundation of the keto lifestyle.
How about uh foundations of body confidence?
Love that. Okay, okay, we got that. Perfect.
Okay.
All right. So the next day is about the vehicle, right? So day two is going to be about the vehicle, where we are going to talk about how keto lifestyle actually is, how it works, and what is the structure behind it. And when you said that you wanted to help people find the purpose, right? The purpose behind what they're doing, why they want to lose weight. I mean, you can focus on that day,
On the
right?
why, on what's their
On the
why.
why. Yes, the why. And then we can name it something like um, the the ultimate lifestyle framework, or something of that sort, which talks about the lifestyle itself. And you're going to show them how you can create a lifestyle around your why, and then you can manage your weight loss journey through that, right? So the purpose of this is to get people to get first on the first day get convinced about you as the coach. So yes, Jose can help me in my fitness journey. On second day, they're going to say, yes, Jose can help me in my fitness journey, and keto lifestyle is the way I can get fit, I can get free of all of my diseases, right? The third day is about the internal belief that they have. So while we were working it out, you said that one of the internal beliefs that people have is that they do not have like a they feel like they have to focus on the calories, right? The calorie loss and all of that stuff. So it's not about that. It's about like the hormones and not eating the good food, and they're eating the wrong food, right? So we can talk about the diet over here on this day, and then we can frame it in the way that covers that internal belief that they have,
Got it.
right? So um, how you can get fit by eating what you love. S- something around that would do for day three. What do you think about that?
Yeah, I like that because there's a lot that I can teach on that. Uh, like not only do I teach that about how it's not about calories, it's about hormones, but then I one other thing that I teach that I think is powerful here is that even though when I meet with women, like when we do the strategy call, I say to them, you may not believe what I'm about to say, but you really don't care about your weight, right? Meaning, if you had the body that you wanted,
Mm-hmm.
you wouldn't care what the scale said, right?
Right.
But you're looking at the scale because you think that there's a correlation, which there sort of is, right? There is a correlation between the weight and the body that you want.
Mm-hmm.
But we're gonna focus, and I have them focus like I don't let them weigh themselves like more than like every 3 weeks, and I
Mm-hmm.
teach them the reason why, right? Because it just produces cortisol and stress, and they're seeing the weight go up and down. There's a lot of factors that go into that. Plus, the fact that I say, what you're really going to care about is how your clothes fits, right? Once your clothes starts fitting better and you're wearing stuff that you couldn't wear 5, 10 years ago, you're not gonna you're gonna stop weighing yourself. So there's a lot of internal beliefs there. One, calories versus hormones. Two, uh, weight versus size.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I love that. I mean that we can name it like weight versus size for day three, and then it would create some kind of curiosity for them to know what is this guy talking about, right? So yeah, I mean like that could be a big factor. On day three, we can discuss that, and then day four is pretty simple. Like it's about an external belief that would stop them from moving forward, right? So on day four, they might be having some kind of internal belief, like external belief, that I have a lot of work. I mean, I cannot do it at the time. I do not want to follow a proper workout routine and all of that stuff. So I mean, and I cannot physically do it and all of that stuff, right? Do you feel like that's an external belief that people might have?
Yeah, that's one of the biggest ones. Usually, what I tell women when they're on a strategy call and they tell me that they're very busy, I say that's great. Like I tell them that's good news. I said, and then I asked them, like, I have a girl in my group right now. She works, she's a mom, and she's going to nursing school,
Wow.
right? So I said to her, can you imagine a time over the next few years when you will not be busy? And she's like, no. I'm like, exactly. So now is the perfect time because you will always be busy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So that's one of the big, like you said, external beliefs that people have, that they don't have time to do this. Oh, I don't have time to go to the gym. I don't have time to meal prep. Which, by
Mhm.
the way, when I lost 100 pounds in 5 months, I only ate out.
Wow. I would love to have that kind of diet.
Okay, so that's an external belief that I can
Mm-hmm.
debunk for people.
Mm-hmm. So day 4 can be about how you can make weight loss, like how to fit weight loss into your daily routine, or something that makes working out your daily life, right? And then over there you talk about how they can do these small changes. So as you mentioned, right, that they do not have to create a separate time. They can simply walk their way, uh, up the stairs or to the store and anything of that sort. So you can, on day 4, you can talk about that, and you can give them a couple of testimonials on some, like the one that you just shared. And I think that would be really big for them to just break that limiting belief that they have, that they do not have time, or they do not have, like, they cannot do the workout.
Correct.
Hmm. And finally, day 5 is about, it's about making them believe that your offer is the best. I mean, like the pitch, right? So when we were discussing the process, right, you said the community was the biggest part, right? You can talk about accent over here on day 5, and
Mm.
this will just like blow them off. Like you share the biblical aspect of it, you share like the practical aspect of it, and then towards the end you make your pitch for your offer.
Yeah, it would. Yep, that's powerful. Community accent.
How you can using accent to get fit or something of that sort. I mean, using the word accent in the name of the day itself will get you um, like more eyeballs, because people would want to know how a fitness coach is talking about accents. Like, what does it even have to do with each other, right? So there we have 5 days. What do you think about that so far?
Yeah, no, I've seen obviously a lot of challenges and how they're broken down, and like I know all the information, but I didn't know how to structure it, inside of a challenge, and then I didn't know how to structure it and market it. So, like you said, so that it builds, curiosity and intrigue. And it's like you know what you're gonna get, but at the same time, you don't know enough. But also with this structure, it also helps me to be able to teach and deliver it, more powerful, because I have been thinking on how to create a challenge, but I wasn't thinking in these terms. I was thinking more in the terms of like every day I'm going to teach some of the things that I teach my group and show them that I can help them. And then hopefully by the end they want to sign up, you know, which could work. But when I compare that thinking towards to this, you know, I can still do that, but with this structure, I know it would be more, I know it would be more impactful, because I can see that I'm leading, and if you're still with me on day 5, then from there it's just a matter of closing, of
Right.
closing the deal.
Yes, absolutely. I mean, just like Myron does on the final day, he talks about the 8 stack, right? From the biblical perspective, when you talk about the accent from the biblical perspective, I mean, like, I'm pretty sure that you're gonna amaze a lot of people on day 5, because I mean, nobody would have even seen it coming from far. you know so right now it's just like you want to do a paid challenge or a free challenge. From what we have just covered, I feel like you already have a lot of results, so it would only make sense for you to do a paid challenge and not a free one, right?
Okay.
Because you already have some proof. If you didn't have any proof, I would have suggested you do a free challenge. So paid challenge, it doesn't necessarily have to be like 97 to 97 for $97. You can also do like $47 and $97, right? Like your aim should be like bringing people into the challenge first, so that afterwards you can pitch. So your offer price was $5,000, right?
No, it was that's what I was trying to build towards. Currently, the 12-week challenge, it's currently is 2,000, but in the new year I was planning to take it to 5,000. So what the only thing that's missing all of this in terms of the pricing, the value, the value of the challenge is $25,000, right? But what's missing is having, like you said earlier, the customer who can pay it, right? Like, who exactly am I targeting?
Mhm.
Because even if they see the value, if they can't afford the program, you know what I mean? Then it's not going to work. So if this is 12 weeks, if this is 12 weeks, then yeah, then I think, I can go as high as 5,000, as low as 2,000. If we're doing something for 6 weeks, the time sensitive 6 weeks, then I probably, might go a little bit lower and then offer some type of continuation. So I'm kind of playing with that, but I would love your input.
Yeah, so definitely it really depends upon your target audience, right? So just as I mentioned, when we did that challenge for one of our clients, that was around entrepreneurs trying to get stage fit. So it was also time sensitive, and it was like a very short period of time for just 4 weeks, right? And the price of that would be much higher, because then the entrepreneurs are able to pay that kind of money. And if they're going to speak in front of like 100, 200, 300 people, I mean, it would only make sense for them to look more fit and like feel more confident, so that they can deliver what they want to deliver in a better way, right? So it really depends on your audience. However, I feel like you can use this as an advantage. You can say that in New Year, the price of the program is going to be like $5,000, right? And make sure that you do that for $5,000. I'm pretty sure there will be a lot of moms who would still want to get in, who would still want to get into those clothes, but they do not have time and they have a lot of money, right? So I don't think money would be an issue if you're targeting the right people. So, I mean, use that as an advantage for now, for the Black Friday that you have coming in. You can say that you will be getting this program that will be costing $5,000 in New Year, but right now it's just $2,000 if you sign up before Monday midnight or Sunday midnight. Give them a deadline, and then that will make it more irresistible, like creating that scarcity, just like Myron does as well, right? I mean, he closes the card on Monday. However, he's still gonna open it next month.
Correct.
Yeah, I mean, like giving the deadline so people can actually take in that action. And finally, does that answer your question? Like,
Yeah,
do you?
yeah, yeah. Absolutely, absolutely. I mean, basically, it's price it according to who I'm targeting.
Uh huh. Right. Absolutely. So, lastly, we just have the challenge name, I guess. So, what I thought about is like fit your way to confidence,
Mm. Fit your way to confidence.
or fit in the confidence challenge.
Say that again.
Fit in the confidence challenge.
So when we was talking, that you talked to me about the sexy step, and
Hmm.
I would love your feedback on this because the big thing, the big hashtag come New Year's is the New Year, New You.
New year, new you.
So I was thinking about something like that. If we did that now, New Year, New You challenge.
But again, the name of the challenge has to speak what the challenge is going to be about,
Got it. Got it.
right? So the result that you're promising. So um, recently, when we strategized a challenge for a client, he helps businesses, he help coaches write bestseller books, right? So his challenge, and make money from it. So his challenge name was Right to Wealth Challenge.
Mm.
It's as simple as that, right? So and inside of the challenge, he will be showing people how to write a bestseller book and make money from it. So
So,
exactly what the name talks about.
so fit your way to confidence. I like that. Fit your way to confidence. I like it.
Hmm. I mean, definitely you can. It's not something that you have to. Yes, must said that, so I have to go ahead and use the same name. However, it's just to give you an idea that um, when we are naming a challenge, it definitely has to be about what it's going to be,
Correct.
right?
Correct. Correct. Yeah, no, I like it. I like it. It works.
All right, awesome. So that um, has us come to the end of our podcast. So I would definitely let you go right now. I mean, you have to be somewhere, right?
Yeah, no worries.
So, so it's been a pleasure to have you over here, Jose.
Likewise, likewise, Muse.
I mean, I hope this was
Very,
helpful for you.
listen, and not only is this very helpful for me, I know it's going to be helpful for whoever listens to this, to this episode because I got a lot of clarity. I got a lot of actionable steps, and you helped me build my challenge.
I mean, I hope I did.
Yeah, no, this was powerful. Like this is something that I can take action on, and now I can see it. I can see
Hmm.
where the parts fit, um, and it also helps me, structure how I would teach, right? Because I understood the concept of a challenge. I've participated in many challenges, um, and every time that I see someone's challenge, and I see, their promise, day one, day two, day this, I still haven't been able to connect it
Mm-hmm.
to my business and brand. I haven't been, so this is powerful, bro. I'm very thankful.
Absolutely, Jose. I really appreciate that. And one thing that we really ask of every single guest that comes up on our podcast is that to commit that they are going to go ahead and execute the challenge, right? Because at the end of the day, if you do not do it, nothing's going to make sense.
No, you're absolutely right. We're gonna connect. We're gonna connect next week. I'm gonna show you my progress next week. Scout's honor.
Absolutely. So I have this recorded, and I'm
Yeah,
gonna like it's
yeah.
very like
No, put it out.
connect.
Put it out. It's a
All right.
challenge to me. No, no, no. I'm already envisioning it, and I can't wait. I can't wait to share with you. Where I'm gonna go with this.
Absolutely, man. Again, thank you so much, Jose, for being here and giving your time. And we are looking forward to seeing your progress. Okay.
Thank you very much, man. God bless you.
You too. Have a great one.
You too, man. Bye bye.
Bye. All right. So, with that, we come to an end of this podcast. I hope this was helpful to you. If it was, then put your views down below in the comments. And thank you so much for watching till the end. And just because you watched, I have a gift for you. Go ahead and read the description that we have in the caption. I have already recorded a training which talks about the 7 biggest mistakes that most coaches make while they are trying to launch a 5-day challenge. So go ahead and get the free training, and I'm pretty sure that is going to help you to understand what you're doing wrong and how you can start making more money through your challenges moving forward. So with that, we come to an end of this podcast episode. We are going to see you on the next one. Till then, keep creating for change and keep making more money.